A clip of a donut operator, a Guntuber with millions of subscribers, went viral on Twitter the other day, where he talks about his relationship between him and iDubbbz and how he believes they had a falling out, attributing it to Ian getting upset about an OF joke that Donut made where he shows his meat, and by that he means he rates steaks. Once this clip made the rounds, iDubbbz and Anisa both fired back at Donut Operator, claiming that he was insecure about his own girlfriend doing OnlyFans, along with saying that him and Brandon Herrera are both reckless with guns. And according to Anisa, even at one point put them in danger at a gun show. Brandon fired back, accusing Anisa of being misinformed that it was a gun range and not a gun show, and Anisa started posting multiple replies clarifying her position, speaking about a child who picked up a gun and just fired it into a crowd during the show. Welcome to the internet versus Ian, Anisa, and Guntubers. It starts when Yeet tweets out, "Donut Operator reveals ridiculous reason why iDubbbz stopped being friends with him. Says they haven't spoken in 5 years because of it," and attaches this clip.
So like he went to a range day with me one time. Like we used to talk a lot about content creation and stuff. And COVID rolls around, I get bored at home, so I make an OnlyFans where I'm showing my meat.
Really?
And, well, basically, I'm taking a steak and I'm rating a steak. And like,
see, that's the reaction that you're supposed to have.
Genius.
I thought it was funny. So I'd be wearing like just an apron. Of course, I'm wearing like boxers underneath. And I'd reach down and be like, "This is my OnlyFans." And this is an A5 Wagyu from down the street. And I would talk about it. And I sent it to Ian, and he got mad and called me and like said I was making fun of Anisa, and like I wasn't. I just thought it was a funny bit because I was sitting at home during COVID. And
you'll never understand what it's like to be an ally.
Yeah, it was. He like said
that.
stuff like that, and yeah. Just like haven't talked to him since. That was like 5 years ago.
Over that?
Yeah, and I've like texted him and tried to reconnect with him. He just won't talk to me anymore.
Dojangles replies, "I heard about this a few years ago and thought Ian was being too sensitive for someone that said it was perfectly normal to make jokes about the OF. I didn't realize the main character syndrome was so real and the ego was that fragile. The Jomas make everything about them." Bizarro replies to the clip by saying, "Ian is such a miserable, self-absorbed pussy. Holy shit. He was actually traumatized by being mildly bullied on the internet. His empathy is unironically just for himself that he projects out as this faux woke performative garbage. He's gonna have an internal reckoning one of these days, and I bet Anisa accuses him of abuse within the next 4 years. Also, absolute covert narcissist behavior." Scrunky replies to the clip by saying, "Bro was so insecure he immediately assumed that a joke about a massive internet trend was aimed directly at his wife." The girl with a microphone quoted seat and says, "One hallmark of an abusive relationship is being isolated from your friends. This doesn't always look like you can't see them. It can also mean being manipulated into getting rid of those friends yourself. How many is this now, Ian?" iDubbbz himself then quote tweets it and says, "Conveniently leaving out that your girlfriend at the time was pursuing OnlyFans. But you were too pussy to deal with the criticism, so you made a parody account. No, I don't want to be friends with a coward." Augie RFC replies to Ian by saying, "That doesn't make any sense." And DJ replies to Augie, completely ignores what Donut Operator said. "Well, your ex did OnlyFans too, so ha! Huh? Holy insecure schizo posting." Denims replies to iDubbbz by saying, "The insecurity is crazy." And Space Ghost says, "His nervous body language just in case his boys find out he's banging a rich 10, that must be so hard for him." Ezra Taft replies, "Leafy 1. Dreedle replies with this picture of iDubbbz, his profile picture, and says, "I think you've lost the plot, buddy." Daniel replies to iDubbbz by saying, "You clearly have an obsession with overly judging your friends. You cut people off because of decisions they make in their personal lives that have nothing to do with you. iDubbbz, it's time to focus on empathy and loving your friends, not alienating them. You are more flawed." Fat Electrician replies, "Donut wasn't comfortable with his significant other being esselized by other men. He's a coward. It's the most cucked shit I've ever heard in my life." Anisa replies to iDubbbz by saying, "He also took us to a gun show where a child accidentally fired a gun that was loaded on a sales table into the crowd, and everyone nonchalantly said ND in unison like it wasn't a big deal." And there is a community note attached here saying the gun show in question was actually a firing range, which we will look at here in a moment. But first, IFD replies to Anisa by saying, "That kid grew grew up to pocket 34% of the profits of a charity event. Kyle replies, holy shit, who gives a fuck, you dumb C? Do you think he ran that gun show? You think he gave that kid a loaded gun? Are you fucking retarded? Jesus Christ. And then back to the community note, it links to a Yeats tweet where he screenshots those two posts, the one from iDubbbz and Anisa that we already read. And Willie Mackshow replies, okay, well, what did you want him to do, Anisa? And Smaggle says, take the gun out of the child's hands. Duh. Mudahar replies, people will usually say ND in unison, so people don't freak out and scramble, possibly hurting others by accident, thinking an active shooting is taking place. And Clouded End replies, why are you pretending to be a gun guy? And Mudahar says, because I own firearms and firearm safety is important. Tectone replies to the Yeet post by saying, do you think Anisa lets iDubbbz watch? Ma replies to the Yeet by saying, what even are these rebuttals? It's like Ian and Anisa live in some sort of alternate world. I don't even need to read Donut's response to them to know they're spouting weird nonsense dressed up as arguments. Kirida replies, what the fuck are these brain-dead statements? Was he supposed to foresee all incidents possible? This is the most nothing story. Brandon Herrera himself then replies to Yeet by screenshotting Anisa's profile, showing that he is blocked, and saying, ha, I was gonna set the record straight, but it turns out she preemptively blocked me. What she's calling a gun show was a live firing range. Conveniently left that out for no particular reason, I'm sure. Nerdotic replies, bio says married to a YouTuber. Kilo Season Cam replies, Brandon, you gotta remember these people aren't just disingenuous, they're also retards. I don't think she knows the difference between the two, and even if she did, she would lie about it. Decoy says, some people just can't hang, I guess. Zezzy replies to Donut Operator by saying, nothing wrong with guns, just mentally unstable people that get their hands on them. And Nolan Void replies, and that the leading cause of death amongst children is firearms. But hey, nothing wrong with guns, right? And Donut Operator himself then replies by saying, I gave my son his first AR-15 at 10. He became a range safety officer at my range events at 15. Anisa herself then replies to Brandon by screenshotting the tweet and posting on her timeline, captioning it, I hate gunheads. The kings of actually, it was some gun event Donut took us to at a range. People were selling guns. It was during lunch when no one was firing and a child went to a sales table, picked up a gun that wasn't supposed to be loaded, and fired it. The vendor was booted. The guns on the table weren't supposed to be loaded. It was very much not normal. That event made me hate gun culture. I went in with an open mind as a Canadian, but it was so poorly run and the people sucked so hard I became a certified hater after that. Ian Benoit replies, so the vendor did something that they weren't supposed to do and they enforced the rules and booted him. And Anisa replies, gun people freak me the fuck out, Jesus. Booting someone is the bare minimum. And Chadwick replies, what exactly does this have to do with Donut? You're dodging this question. A bad thing happened at this place you were at. Okay, did Donut fire the gun? No. Then what the fuck is your point? Ilata replies to Anisa by saying, so someone else's kid did something bad, no one got hurt, and Donut is somehow the bad guy for it for being there with you. Got it. And Anisa replies, anyone could have picked that gun up. It wasn't supposed to be loaded. Everyone acted like it wasn't a big deal. That's not normal. And Ilata replies, right, I get that. Big no-no. Agreed. What does that have to do with Donut? Did he load the gun? Or shoot it? Encourage the behavior? People say ND at the range to let everyone know that an accident happened, no one got hurt, and to not panic, potentially causing a serious one. And Anisa replies, I think it spoke to a larger issue. Lack of responsibility for someone who's a big gun advocate. The event in general was dangerous. He had us walking behind a hill that people were firing at, etc., when stray bullets were very much a possibility. There was a lot during that event. And Ilata replies, I absolutely get that, but maybe those are the details we should be discussing rather than something that's out of his control. Just my opinion. I definitely understand feeling unsafe after an event like that. I don't understand attributing the situation to him. And Anisa replies, he's the one who took us there and was friends with the people running the event. He took us behind the hill, etc. They just aren't responsible. None of them. Over on the H3 production subreddit, Eins Nico posts, this Ian and Anisa cope about OF, it needs to be studied. Now Donut's a loser for not tanking his career, I guess? Attaching this clip with a caption from an older podcast episode. They're so mad about it. And I still don't know how a joke OF about a steak review is somehow harming OnlyFans girls. Every peek into their heads, I feel like I need a Star Trek Trek away party backing me up. And here's the clip attached.
When the OnlyFans shit happened and everybody was shitting their pants about me having an OnlyFans, there were some content creators that suggested to Ian, like, the move is to make your own OnlyFans and go in there and fucking just start posting on OnlyFans and make it a big joke. And like, that's what people want to see. That's what's going to be entertaining. And like, yeah, we understand what the like politically correct, not politically correct, strategically correct move is. But for, in that instance, for the sex working community, that would harm them so like, so much more than like it would help us. Do you know what I mean? Ian did what was like strategically smart. It is taking away from what he's even trying to do. I think there's a lot of people out there that think that like you're making choices that you think are going to be good for your career.
Yes.
But that's not how you're making choices at all. You're aware of what would be good for your career, and you're even though you know that, you're foregoing it because it is not what you think is it's not how you want to live your life or what you like what you're trying to do.
100%. That's the biggest frustration, is that people don't really, it's like, I'm the one who made all of these videos in the first place. Like, I understand the game.
Yeah.
Like, of course, like the suggestion of like making the OnlyFans thing a joke.
Yeah.
Like, that was like, that's so obvious to do that.
Yeah.
But the people who suggested that shit to me are fucking losers. If you're watching this, you're a fucking loser.
Arm Burning Off replies to the clip by saying, she was getting shit for years online before starting an OnlyFans in 2020. Nobody liked her every step of the way, so she lashed out to add more successful women, a hobby she enjoys to this day. It's so gross to throw it all on, I made an OnlyFans in 2020 so everyone hates me. Denim's tried doing the same thing. Nobody cares if you're selling bikini pics on the side, ladies. Lord knows the podcast isn't paying the mortgage. KK Targaryen then screenshots the iDubbbz and Anisa post reply that we looked at earlier and posted on the LeftoversH3 subreddit with the title iDubbbz and Anisa respond to Stalker 2000 and Donut Op, and Lip Pillow Swallower replies, maybe I'm not brain broken enough, but what does ND mean? Not dead? And Wellbutrin Enjoyer replies, it means negligent discharge. It can be a chargeable offense in certain cases like the military, so the people at the gun show were probably joking about the kid being charged for ND or something. Just normal conservative dickhead stuff. Audra replies by saying, Donut Operator is a pretty shitty person himself, so it makes sense iDubbbz didn't want his friendship. And Disastrous Sir replies, he excuses scary cops for turning people into colanders, and jokes about gun control being ridiculous. Shout out to our Tier 3 members, internet representatives, Kiko and Salsad. Thank you guys so much for the support, and I'll see you all in the next episode.